Last topic here, how to become a millionaire by 2030. You talk a lot about using cryptocurrency as kind of the launch pad in your investing cycles, or maybe you're new to investing and there's some opportunity. If you were looking at a brand new investor, I know you've had a couple of brand new investors on your channel, what are some recommendations that you are saying, hey, you should put away X% per month and start investing, looking at very long-term holding patterns here?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can say very assuredly that my personal conviction is you own one Bitcoin, you're going to be a millionaire. So I know one Bitcoin right now is around 40K. It was around 60K. At some point, it's going to get to be an unreasonable price. But then in the bear market, it's probably going to drop back. I wouldn't be surprised if it comes right back to where it is now, even if the price goes up to 300K. So, which that's a very common number that a lot of people are looking at based on the stock to flow chart and some other charts. But what I would say is that, number one, you have to do your own research and you have to learn what you're investing in. Without doing that, you'll fail. So I bought Bitcoin in 2012 for 12 bucks a piece, had no idea what it was. I was only doing it to buy a software, should have been worth 8 figures in 2017, but I sold it all in 2013 because I just didn't know what I was looking at. 2017, I bought more and I rode it all the way down to the bottom of the bear market. So that's once again proof that just throwing money into something that goes up is not enough to make you a long-term success. If you don't understand what you're investing in, you don't understand the market cycles, and you don't already have hundreds of thousands or $1 million to throw in, you're going to ride it up and you're going to lose it all. If you understand these things, you're going to be in a much better spot to not just make money, but to keep your money. But I do believe that when you look at the supply, the tokenomics of Bitcoin itself, I definitely believe that one Bitcoin eventually will be worth $1 to $5 million. Actually recently talked to some people that are some big money over in the Middle East, and they're talking about some crazy stuff that they're going on. Maybe they were playing a role in this manipulation, just stuff I'm hearing. And they're saying they believe the price could get up to $10 million per Bitcoin. That's pretty pie in the sky. I think $1 million is very obtainable. The way that you actually can get to one Bitcoin, if you don't have a Bitcoin and you don't have enough money to buy one, is through buying really solid altcoins like Ethereum and like Cardano. That, Ethereum, since it was created in 2015, consistently outperformed Bitcoin. So that means you don't have to own as much Ethereum to end up eventually eclipsing, $1 million than you would have to own of Bitcoin, because it outperforms it in the market. So it's not like you look at the price of Ethereum at $3,000 approximately and say, oh, well, maybe one day like that can be worth the price of Bitcoin. The market caps are different, but the supply is also different. So with Bitcoin, there's 18.7 million Bitcoin out there. With Ethereum, there's already, I think, 120 million. So it's going to have to do a lot more to try to, in market cap, to achieve the same kind of price point that Bitcoin has. But over time, investing in altcoins, and that's been a very key, part of my success, is investing in coins that outperform Bitcoin, and then you're able to actually earn more Bitcoin. Or a lot of people would say the game's changed a little bit. You want to try to earn more Ethereum. I think probably 10 to 15 Ethereum or one full Bitcoin, like that has a great chance to get you to $1 million, in the next 10 years.
Yeah, for sure. What are your thoughts on leverage? Because it's something where we see a lot, especially with the cost of money right now being its lowest ever. A lot of people are putting out investment now in leverage. They've been doing it in the stock market trade for decades. Of course, how does that play out in the crypto space?
Yeah, so leverage trading, it can sometimes be a taboo topic because people lose a lot of money. I always believe that really losing money leverage trading is part of a process of coming into crypto. I've been very successful with leverage trading over the last year. We turned $80,000 into $1 million in 6 weeks back in January, doing it using like very high leverage. Your stock people think it's crazy, but about 25x leverage is what I was using at that time, and we crushed it. Since then, it hasn't been good. I've lost about $100,000. It was $100,000 additional dollars that I put in because the markets, I only long in a bull market, so it hasn't been going great lately. So you got to understand how to ride the ebbs and flows of things, but it was a lot of the lessons that I learned losing, 4, 5 figures back in 2018, 2019, and 2020 that led me to be able to make 7 figures in 2021 using leverage trading. But here's the thing about leverage trading. A lot of people would say it's bad for the market. It's not going anywhere. There's 0% chance that leverage is leaving. The way we need to be looking at this is actually that leverage is now available to normal people, whereas in the past it seemed to kind of be an elite thing where the big money was able to trade on leverage and your normal guy wasn't able to just download an app and start leverage trading, and now they can. So there's a power there. There's also a responsibility there. You got to learn to use proper risk management, use stop losses, make sure you don't lose all your money, don't get liquidated. There's some tricks where you just set your liquidation point $1 above, or you set your stop loss $1 above your liquidation point. You save 20%, even if it does drop down there. So there's a lot of things you can do to kind of ease that burden. But leverage trading is not for the faint of heart, and it's definitely not for gambling degenerates, because you will lose all your money eventually. And that's why I tell people to make sure when you do get that one really big hit or you make a lot of money on a trade, make sure you're banking some of that money, because if you keep trading with everything in your account, eventually you're going to lose it all, because that red day that we had last week is always going to eventually happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen from time to time. Number one mistake that you see crypto investors, even ones, and I think the one, you may have just answered it, but number one mistake you see on newbies coming into the crypto space, just not taking profits or something else?
Oh, definitely. I mean, not taking profits is definitely the number one thing that screws people up. People don't understand. Like, I have a crypto.com card. I work with crypto.com, and I use my it's a metal Visa card, and I use it all the time. And people are like, well, you're spending your crypto. Eventually it's going to be worth a lot more. Like, yeah, but every time I do that, I'm pulling profits off the table. And so that's something that a lot of people don't understand. Like, we just sold all of our Matic. We sold all of our Matic 3 days ago, or I guess it was maybe the end of last week. Not because we didn't think Matic was going to continue to do great, but we had turned $150,000 into $700,000. And it's like, the market started dropping. It was at 900,000. We're like, the market was dropping. We need to lock away those gains. So we locked away that $700,000 of gains, and it didn't have anything to do with the quality of the product or what we thought it was going to be in the future. It just had to be like, you got to take money off the table in the bull runs, or you're going to end up eventually writing it all back down to zero. So that's definitely a very important lesson for people, is to learn to take the smaller profits along the way, learn to dollar cost average, not just in, but dollar cost average out. That's also something that we do. And then you get to the end of the run, even if you end up holding too long, you still have banked away quite a bit.
Crypto arbitrage, what are your thoughts on that? Is it a tool and a technique that you recommend? Is it something that you're like, hey, let's wait a little bit before you get into crypto arbitrage?
I have one word for that. Meh. Crypto arbitrage is very difficult. No, I'm not an arbitrage guy, simply because it looks easy when you're looking at prices based on different exchanges. There are a lot of arbitrage bots out there that people can use, but the profits on those arbitrage bots are not great. If you scale them up, out infinitely, I'm sure you can make some money, but it seems like a much bigger risk for the reward, in my opinion. Your fees on most exchanges are going to eat away at your profits. It's going to be really hard to make that successful unless you're trading mega millions worth of dollars. But then, like I said, then I feel like the risk is not worth the reward.
Right. Do you see any, last question for you, I know you got to run here, but do you see any implementation of AI tools really making it their way into this space to where you could put an account on autopilot? There's some smart investing AI tools in the stock market. Do you think that can actually prove ground in the crypto space?
Yeah, well, I just really see myself eventually being like Will Smith in the movie I, Robot, and trying to tell everybody, let's not get killed by the robots.
Watch out.
But I mean, AI obviously is here, and it's doing big stuff. Tokenmetrics has AI quant mechanics that go into them predicting prices and predicting, when you should be buying and when you should be selling. So I do think there definitely is opportunities for that. But, I do believe every robot movie in history is a grim warning of our future if we don't, really kind of take this stuff seriously. So, it's going to be great. It's going to help people, but then it's probably going to turn around and kill us all.
Yeah, there's always a bad ending to the robot movies.
Every
always
time.
bad ending. Every time. Ben Armstrong.
The Jetsons. Rosie, the robot.
Okay, that was a good one. That's
the only one I can think of. Just had to throw it out there. So.
I like it. Ben Armstrong, always great to see you. And thank you so much for stopping in on the channel today. We appreciate it. Stay tuned, of course, right here. If you guys have not subscribed, I can't imagine anybody that's not subscribed to BitBoy Crypto yet, as the number one channel really talking about cryptocurrency. So again, thanks for tuning in today, guys. And you can always hit us, of course, right here on TechPath. Just producer@revernetworks.com, or of course, hit me up on Twitter @Paul Barron. We'll catch you next time right here on TechPath. See you, Ben.
See you. Thanks for having me.